So we'll go ahead and get started. Just a reminder for the press conference portion of this, it'll be open for media members only to ask questions. And then for the handout that Dave Winder has handed out for everybody, if you scan the QR code, it will take you to a website that has the entire signing class and a little bit of information about each guy. So we will open it up for any questions at this time from our media members.
Coach, off the top of it, looking at this, it's a rather large class. You talked about what went into finding 67 guys to add to this.
Yeah, you know, I think it was one of those things we just said if we could find good football players. And right now, excuse me, my voice is a little out right now from about 60-something kids visiting the past couple of days. But we just really put an emphasis on finding winners anywhere we could find them. And, you know, right now there's a lot of programs probably waiting around for the transfer portal, things like that a little bit. Can't say enough about our coaching staff, the relationships, the hard work they put in to find a lot of these, you know, high school guys kind of in our recruiting footprint. You know, the big emphasis we want to do in this signing class was upgrade our size. We did that a lot, especially at offensive line and as well as in the secondary. But, you know, it's a lot of guys, you know, but we felt like they were really great high school football players, and we had a chance to get them, and we were not going to turn them down.
Is that the biggest emphasis of this class, is getting size, especially in the trenches?
Yes, you know, in our conference, I say it all the time, the best conference in FCS football, and you know, I think it's a line of scrimmage conference, no doubt, and we were definitely size deficient in some areas last year. And you know, of course, anytime a lot of these guys, we had to invest in some frames that we feel like they've got the character and stuff to add bulk and weight. You know, so you're in the weight room with Coach Sullivan and Josh, they'll add really good weight, we feel like. And you know, looking back at some of the teams in the conference, a lot of those guys that are some of the better players in this conference were signed like that out of high school and kind of grew into their frames.
I know seeing Alabama is in this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Y'all rated that state pretty good, didn't
Yeah, you know, we were fortunate, you know, to get a lot of good players out of the state of Alabama this year. You know, Troy University having a coaching change last year, and Jacksonville State having a coaching change during the season, and some different things with some colleges. We felt like it was a really great year in the state of Alabama. A lot of good connections we had, and felt like we got some really good, you know, Division I football players that were available for us, and so we wanted to seize on that opportunity.
With all these freshmen, do you feel this is a class that's building for success in the future down the road too?
Yeah, you know, and last year it was really nice. Like I said, having been able to recruit a lot of these guys have been to our football games in the fall. We've been recruiting, see them in the spring. A lot of them, just to be honest, some of them probably thought they were going to sign SEC or Big Ten or some different places, and you know, kind of waited to the February signing period, and we were able to get them. But you know, you look at this, we got the leading rusher in the state of Georgia, you know, that broke Nick Chubb's high school record. We got Spencer Kahn, a two-time All-State linebacker that was MVP in an All-Star game there. We got one of the leading rushers in the state of Alabama. You know, so we were able to go get a lot of productive football players and a lot of really good frames. I really can't say enough about the parents believing in the vision of this program, because, you know, just to be honest, it's not like we're coming off a championship season last year, and they really believed in what we're building here. Can't say enough about our athletic director, Nico Yanko, going out raising money to get us the resources, because, you know, recruiting's not cheap, and that's the only way you can change a football program. You've got to go recruit, do your homework, find good players, and there's not an athletic director in the country that does more than he does trying to close the gap in this conference, what we're going against. Matt Kelly, every day we probably have to call him 50 times a day, you know, whether he's working up a transcript late at night, whatever he's doing, you know, to bring so many guys in. You know, can't say enough all the great work he did for us. Haley in compliance, Rachel, Katina in academics, Brock Radecki and his staff getting different things together, because we had so many visits, kind of like a 24-hour visit, and they went great, but took a whole lot of work. Carson Travis and Reagan did a lot for us. You know, whether it was photo shoots, organizing families' travel, different things. Grant Kimberlin, our director of football operation, we had some coaching change leaves, so a lot of people had to take on new roles and really embraced it and did a great job. Bud Byers, he helps us every day. over there. It's amazing, and can't say enough about the RFA guys. I mean, the what y'all do to help us raise money with Nico and stuff, that we can, give some different things with our scholarship, whether it's Austin money and cost of attendance. It really makes a difference. And when a lot of those guys came to games this year and they see former players out there tailgating, and that means something to them. But when I got hired here, every day I think about it's 2002 since the last time, there was a conference championship won here, and I really think the guys in this class are going to be able to do that. And I think the foundation, they're going to be able to play together, grow together, and the best part about them, a lot of them, just every one of them just about are from winning programs, a lot of them from state championship teams, and I think winners find a way to win, and I definitely think we got a lot of winners in this class.
Coach, address the advantage of having a year to recruit versus starting a team.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I use the analogy. It was like, I said, last year you get hired a little late, but it is what it is, and then you got to do what you could in the spring. But I just, it's tough to build a football team, I believe, in the spring portal, and you don't know what's going to be in the portal. But I think when you see winners, you know what their families are about. They're competitive, they're tough, they're smart, and you've talked to them for a while, or you've seen them come up. They've been to your campus. It makes a difference, I believe, and they're coming here for the right reasons. It's not, there's a lot of guys making decisions going to college football programs for whatever reasons, but I felt like we had a lot of guys that loved to embrace the challenge of winning a championship at Murray State, getting a degree from Murray State, and being part of something special at Murray State. And we were up front and honest and talked to those guys and their families in my office and said, hey, if this is not for you, it's not. But a lot of them, we probably had too many guys jumping on board, which is a good problem to have. So we got to sort through some numbers. But like I said, I can't tell you how excited I am about the quality of young men we got, but also the quality of football players we got. And starts with winning people, like I said, but really excited to get these guys on campus in June.
I just counted it up. Over 40 of these players are from Georgia, Florida, Texas. These are football states. Also, they come from kind of a brand like the SEC,
Yeah.
not the Big Ten like we're seeing here.
Yeah. We got a good mix, I think, of some SEC footprint, and we got some guys from Minnesota, with a little Big Ten footprint, because, I definitely thought we had to get some size, and and everybody thinks some of these guys in this league, they didn't look like that when they signed with some of the Dakota schools and different things. They were a 6'4" frame that may have been 240, that's 280, 290 now. So we were able to get some of that, but also I always think it's important to find guys that where football's important, and some of these programs, and whether it's Texas, Alabama, Kentucky, a lot of guys that we were able to get, their high school, the first time they play an important football game, and there's a lot of people and there's pressure and it's a big-time game, won't be in college. They went through that in high school, and they've been in some structure and discipline program. And, I give credit to our coaches, did an amazing job, knowing the background, the program, that coaches could vouch for their character, seeing them, and some guys we trusted. And I'm glad they trusted in us to send their players to us.
And the guys who are returning next year, have they had a chance to meet these guys?
Yes, and that goes back to our players. For example, I think Jim Ogle, our quarterback, I bet he hosted 20 or 30 kids. Baxter Wright, another one of our quarterbacks. Kylan Galbraith, Jordan Washington, Hussein Simseer. Our players did an amazing job, and no matter what we tell them, hearing it from a player is a little bit different. And I always say it's kind of like going to a restaurant. The restaurant can tell you how good it is, but somebody that ate at the restaurant is probably going to be a little better salesman. So I think our players did an amazing job, and they would come and tell us, like, Coach, we need this guy, or Coach, I really like this guy. And, so they did an amazing job, being around the recruits, talking to them about what we're doing. We had Coach Sullivan did a thing. When they would talk about the weight program, and he made the guys, come down there, basically like showed them some energy like a workout. Got a lot of good compliments of that. But just everything, the parents really felt like Murray State was home, and everybody around, whether you took them around town to see things, and it was really, really nice. And I think they could see that this was a a beautiful campus going places and where this athletic department's going, and they could see the vision and believed in us. And like you said, we thought we were going to get maybe 75% of these guys, but we ended up getting probably close to 100% of guys we sent scholarships. They got 2 or 3 more that for whatever reason a parent wasn't in town, has got to sign something, but it was even higher batting average than I was hoping today.
Considering the size of this class and how many freshmen, I think it's safe to assume you're gonna see a lot of young faces that are gonna play next year for you guys. How much of that emphasis to your pitch to them is that, okay, you can come in as a freshman and try to make an impact?
Yeah, and that's a great question. We're going to have a lot of freshmen next year that are going to have to play for us, with our roster size. And, as a coaching staff, we have to decide sometimes, last year you come in and you're trying to see what's left to your foundation of your team. And, going through this conference, kind of seeing what we have got to compete against and what you've got to beat to win the conference. We felt like, Coach Ross did an unbelievable job finding some 6'8" offensive linemen, 6'7" guys too. And, are they going to be ready to play day one? Probably not. But we felt like a lot of freshmen that we were able to get last year end up being some of our better players by the end of last season. So when we had a chance to get players we thought were even more talented and possibly better than those type of players, we really wanted to get it. But there will be, and I talked to him about my office, hey, it's a great opportunity to come in here and play early, but there will be some growing pains as freshmen and stuff. But I think it's going to really help us when those guys, when we all played college football, you signed as freshmen together, you grew up in the dorm, you went through hard stuff together, you became a team. And I think now if you're just one and done guys, bringing in transfer portal, this and that, it's hard to build a team. And, the more we talked about it, we felt like getting a lot of guys that were cut from the same mold, cloth, that had the same standards and values, that love football, but also just good people, winners. You get enough of them together, they're going to go through stuff together, a little bit like military going through training, and they'll build a bond together. So I think, we kind of sold that to these guys, like, hey, we're going to bring a lot of you freshmen in. All right, you may have to play early, and there may be some bumps in the road, but, we feel like this class could be really, really special.
I imagine they're pretty excited to be joining the NBSC.
Yeah, and it is, and and we sold that in recruiting. Hey, you get the 3 of the last 4 teams standing at the end of the year were from this conference. So, you get to go show, and whether it's how many guys were drafted in the NFL out of this conference compared to a lot of Group of 5 conferences. And I say it all the time. I would believe North Dakota State, South Dakota would all have been top 25 FBS teams last year. And, so I think, the real competitors, they love the challenge, just like our coaches of playing in this league. But we know it's a challenge, and we've got to make up ground, as we know, and that's what we're doing every day, whether it's in the weight room, we're upgrading our roster, upgrade our facilities, everything to close that gap.
Coach, with a roster this big, one of the questions that's always going to happen is about team chemistry. So how do you get everybody up to speed and working together?
Yeah, we've got to do a really good job when our guys come back in the summer. Coach Sullivan's already got a great start of that in the weight room right now, of building, and they're going through hard things together, whether it's accountability in each type of drills and keeping up with point systems. But we also got a big group of guys that's going to be here for the first time in June together. So when they get here this summer, we got to do a really good job of getting to know each other, going through hard stuff together, and also kind of teaching them football and stuff, because, it's just the way it is. A lot of these guys are going to have to play as freshmen, and some may not be ready physically, some may not be ready mentally, but that's why they call us coach. Our job's to get them caught up as fast as we can. But I do think a lot of these guys have the character and the belief in themselves and the work ethic that we think they can develop into that. But it's definitely going to be a challenge, and we're up for it. But I think that was one thing I believe. Last year we had so many new players come in the summer and stuff. It was tough to build, some team chemistry and stuff, which a lot of these guys got to be on their visits together. A lot of them are texting each other, knowing each other, actually recruiting each other. Hey, come on, man, let's do something special at Murray, which was nice to see. Like I said, I feel like we recruited a lot of similar type guys that wanted to come to Murray for the right reasons. And so I think it's going to be a good mix, a good class that's going to definitely got to grow fast, but I think they're going to grow well, and looking forward to coaching them.
Are any of these freshmen early enrollees here?
Yes, we've got a couple. Blaze Berry, a quarterback, is here already. But a lot of the guys that were here, whether it's offensive linemen, Cannon, McCulley, and some of the transfer guys, that have been here. Not many of our high school guys are here. A lot of these guys, that we signed today, of course, won't be here till June. But I do think a lot of these guys, because of the football programs they came from, like you take a guy like, A.J. Shadid, an offensive lineman we saw. We had multiple Ivy League offers. One of the top offensive linemen in Oklahoma. He's a state champion wrestler. Just the maturity of that young man, you feel like, hey, he can come in and play early. Spencer Kahn, I spoke on earlier, linebacker, state champion. His dad, coaches at secondary coach at Clemson, so he's been around football his whole life. You've got guys that you feel like their football IQ is pretty high. Their work ethic's pretty high. Some of the stuff you feel like that freshmen probably struggle with. I feel like a lot of these guys are going to be above that threshold and ready to come in and contribute. You could come in and contribute early. Keyshawn Rouser, running back, we signed from Demopolis. Just physically looking really good dude. Caleb Ford, another big running back we signed out of South Carolina, out of Columbia, who was leading rusher, over 2,000-yard rusher in the state of South Carolina. He physically looks like he's ready to play. We've got Arnett Hayes, a big receiver from Tennessee, had over 1,300 yards receiving last year. Really excited about adding him. So we've got some guys that we feel like, are physically ready. Of course, until you do it out there on the college field, it's always going to be Zayden Cook, another guy broke Nick Chubb's high school rushing record, running back we signed today out of Georgia. So, we feel like we've upgraded every position on this football team. Now, just like all freshmen, there'll probably be some growing pains and a couple guys older, but really excited to get them here and get to work.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.